Hello there, and welcome to all of my fellow sentient life forms. Today, we're going to do a little review and discussion of episode 3 of WandaVision. And it's the first episode that has a title. So, episode 3 is titled Now in Color, which episode 3 is in color. So, first off, I would just like to say that the show continues to keep me intrigued, mystified. Every time an episode ends, I want more. I can't wait till next Friday. Because especially after this episode, I really do think that things are going to start to ramp up heavily. And I can't wait for that. It's going to be a wild ride. It already has been a wild ride. And I think it's just going to get wilder and wilder the more pieces start falling into place. So let me whip out my notes here. What do you got? Okay, so start out the episode. There's a new intro. And unlike episode 2, where it is obviously based off of Bewitched, I'm not really sure that it's completely based off of one 70s sitcom, but more of like a combination of a lot of them. I know like the especially like the bike riding scene that really stood out to me. I think that's like pulled straight from another intro to a 70s show or a 70s sitcom, but I couldn't really pinpoint it. But it definitely has that 70s vibe going through, showing all these different antics, Wanda sitting on the couch vacuuming with her finger, using magic. Like I said, them riding a tandem bike together. Makes me think of, Mary Tyler Moore show. Makes me think of like Laverne and Shirley. Like all those like kind of combined together. And then we get into the show proper. We notice that the house is set up different. And it's very similar to the Brady Bunch house. At least that's kind of what I got from it. And the doctor is checking out Wanda, and there's just a lot of good like old 70s style comedy. The doctor has the stethoscope on Wanda's belly, and he's like, "Yep, you're definitely pregnant." Ha 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 on the laugh track. So, on that point, they do a really good job of catching the vibe of the 70s sitcoms. And I did the doctor's name was Dr. Nielsen. And TV shows are rated by the Nielsen company, department, something. I forget what it's actually called. But whenever you're talking about the popularity of a TV show, something that runs on TV, you're talking about Nielsen ratings, which I'm pretty sure this is a call to that, being that the show is based off of TV sitcoms. Dr. Nielsen being the way TV shows are rated. So, yeah, Vision walks the doctor out, and his neighbor Herb is trimming the bushes, but he's taken a little far, and he's cutting through the concrete bricks, and this is a start where we start seeing Wanda's powers start to fluctuate because she's in a high stress situation, being that she's pregnant. So Vision comes back in, and he's a little he's starting to worry about what exactly is going on. And so he's starting to connect some of the dots to something's not quite right here. And unlike in the end of episode 2, where we actually see Wanda rewind time from seeing the beekeeper come out of the sewage drain, it's like an instant snap. Maybe not the right terminology there, being that we're talking about MCU stuff, but it's like an instant rewind, and Vision's all better, and he's talking normal about their situation. So, as her pregnancy is progressing, and it's progressing very quickly, Wanda starts to kind of lose control of her powers. Just like we see the neighbor cutting through the 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 brick instead of the hedges. Crazy things start happening around the house, and it's actually pretty funny. Vision and Wanda are sitting there, and it starts raining in the house, and Wanda's like, I think my water broke, which is pretty hilarious because she's could most likely controlling this reality. But on that note, there is a lot of great, sitcom standards going on here. Like especially with the progression of the pregnancy, never in a sitcom is a woman pregnant for what seems to be the right amount of time. A great example of that would be, Family Guy. Joe's wife, which I can't recall her name right now, stays pregnant for like a lot of seasons. like probably like 10 seasons. So progressing in the episode, we get to Monica on the outside world, or Geraldine in Wanda's reality, comes to the door while Vision is going to get a doctor after Wanda's water breaks. And Wanda's trying to hide her pregnancy. Um, and it's just great sitcom antics, through and through. And we also see more of Wanda's powers fluctuating. She like creates a stork, and she's constantly trying to stop Geraldine from seeing the stork. And then she finally goes into labor while Geraldine is there. Vision hasn't gotten back with the doctor yet. Everything in the house is going crazy. Clocks are spinning, paintings are spinning, the fire is blazing. And she finally has the first baby. And then Vision arrives. And then, so there is another thing. Vision wanted to name the baby Billy, and Wanda wanted to name the baby Tommy. And so when Vision finally holds the first baby, oops. When Vision finally holds the first baby, he's like, Tommy. And Wanda's like, oh. And then like screams in Vision's face. And then he screams, which is another good sitcom antic that is played out a lot in sitcoms, is the father of the woman having a baby needing more help than the actual woman. Which is actually kind of true. I can speak for myself on that one. Then so she has a second baby. So Wanda, a twin, has twins, and they named them Tommy and Billy. And then they're standing there, a couple of good sitcom jokes, and from the doctor, 20 toes, 20 fingers, they're all good. So Vision walks out the doctor again, and there's this short little scene, earlier in the episode. Sorry, bouncing around a lot. The doctor had said he was going to go to Bermuda. And the second time when Vision walks him out, Vision's like, well, maybe you'll get to go on your trip now. And the doctor basically is like, well, small towns like these, they're hard to escape. And I think this is a clue to something that I'll touch more on here in a second. So Wanda and Geraldine are sitting there looking at the babies, and out of nowhere, Wanda, getting into heavy spoilers here. So heavy spoilers. So if you definitely want to know what happens, just yes, spoilers coming. So Wanda's standing there with Geraldine looking over her babies, and out of nowhere, she's like, I was a twin. And she remembers Pietro. And she starts singing this what is obviously a nursery rhyme, but it sounds like a foreign language to me, most likely, like Russian or something. And Geraldine's standing there, and you can tell there's like an emotion that comes over her. It kind of breaks her happy sitcom face, and she becomes more serious. And basically says, like, that's right. He was killed by Ultron, wasn't he? And Wanda's like, what did you say? Because you got to remember that all of the people in this sitcom reality don't remember their past. And, it's reality slipping in that Wanda even remembers that she had a twin brother. And then when Geraldine / Monica adds that even more tragic addition to the fact that she had a twin, it kind of breaks her even more. And Wanda is just like, what did you say? And Geraldine tries to brush it off, and Wanda is like, no, what did you say? And then she notices a necklace that Geraldine is wearing is that same symbol that was on the helicopter, was on the beekeeper that came out of the sewage drain at the end of episode 2. The emblem for sword. And you can tell by the look on Elizabeth Olsen, on Wanda's face, that this is upsetting her. And almost like, no, this is not the reality I want to be in. And at the whole time that that's going on, you have Vision outside talking to Agatha and Herb, the guy who previously was trying to cut through the concrete. And they're almost trying to, I don't quite know if they're trying to warn Vision about Geraldine, or if they're trying to tell him that, hey, this girl is trying to help. I've watched it twice and I still can't really pick up on exactly what their intent, and maybe that was what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it a little bit more mysterious, um, keep it in the dark of whether or not Sword is in this reality trying to help, or if Sword's keeping this reality for some reason. And it's all the great mystery, coming back to what I said at the very beginning of this, is that the mystery of this show is really its greatest selling point. And I've said it to a couple people already that watching this show reminds me of watching Lost back when it was airing on regular TV, having to wait a week to find out, you know, whatever mystery boxes that had been set up in the previous episode. And not only that, there was a big um mystery box at the end of season 1 that you wouldn't find out about until season 2, and that was like months in between. So yeah, WandaVision really reminds me of watching Lost back in the day when you had to wait. I can't remember what day it was on. I believe it was a Thursday or a Wednesday show. But it brings me back to those days, trying to decipher everything that's going on. And what's bad is that I read this article, I think it was from Vulture, and I mean the article had to be like 3,000 words, and they just weren't saying anything, and they kept on dogging the fact that this show is like a mystery box show that that is allows for heavy speculation. And I think that's the plus of this show. That's what makes this show great, is that everything is so mysterious. You we don't know what exactly is going on. So, into the show, Vision comes back in. I was like, "Oh, well, where'd Geraldine go?" And Wanda's very back to normal-ish. It's like, "Oh, she had to run. She had to run back home." And then we flash. We get that cool expanded screen where the ratio changes to let us know that we're no longer in the sitcom reality or Wanda's reality, and we are in the real world. And Monica gets thrown out of Westview, and there's even a town sign that says "Welcome to Westview," which means that Westview is a real town. And so that's the end of the episode. And we see all of these military people, and there's helicopters surrounding the Westview reality bubble, I guess you can call it. But yeah, great third episode. The ending of it is absolutely great stuff. You know, I'm assuming that all of the military vehicles and the helicopters that surrounded Monica after she was expelled from the Wanda verse, the Wanda reality bubble. I'm assuming that all of them are sword. And it's going to be so fun to figure out what exactly is happening here. So, you know, obviously, you know, with any good show like this, you know, your thoughts on it change as you start to see more episodes. Um, a couple of things that I can take away from this episode are that the people inside of Wanda's reality bubble are, in fact, real people. Going back to what Dr. Nielsen said about not being able to escape. So when he says it's hard to escape a small town, I take it as you can't escape Wanda's reality bubble. Now, on that note of Wanda's reality bubble, I am not 100% confirmed that Wanda created the reality bubble on her own. I definitely do think that she is manipulating that reality bubble, being that, you know, when you go back and watch even episodes 1 and 2, it's when Wanda is stressed out that these weird things in the reality bubble start to happen. You know, in episode 1, whenever um, the Mr. Hart is asking them, "Well, where are you from? Where are you from?" And you see that Wanda is starting to get um, emotional and confused about why she doesn't know the answer to that question. And that's when Mr. Hart begins to choke. And then in episode 2, another time when things start going wonky because of Wanda is when um what's her name? The queen bee of Westview or whatever, the blonde haired girl, wherever she's questioning Wanda, and then the voice on the radio starts coming through, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" That's another part where, you know, the glass explodes in the queen bee's hand and cuts it. So I am not 100% for sure whether or not Wanda created this reality bubble, but I am 100% for sure that Wanda is controlling what's happening in the reality bubble. And obviously, a couple other points to confirm that would be um, at the end of episode 2, where she rewinds time to back away from the beekeeper coming out of the sewage drain, and earlier in this episode where she snaps Vision back a couple of seconds to stop him from questioning the reality that they're living in. So yeah, really great episode. I don't think I really have much more to talk about. Doesn't look like there's anybody in the chat. What's something else I could have thought about? Oh, we did get another commercial. We got a commercial for Hydra Soak, which supposed to release the inner goddess, which I found that interesting. Release the inner goddess. If you think about her, Wanda Witch, Scarlet Witch, Wanda. If you think about, her powers and everything, she is kind of a goddess. There wasn't really anything, going back to last week when I talked about WandaVision, I was thinking that it was, opening the door for X-Men. Didn't really see anything that would suggest that in this episode. So nothing really good on that front. But I really want that to happen still. I don't think we're going to see it in WandaVision. I think it might be something that's saved for Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. Okay. There was something else I was going to say about the commercials. It's the same people in the commercials. In every single commercial, it's the same people. So in this commercial, it was a mom. And quite interestingly, the mom had two kids, a boy and a girl. And some people's theory is that the people in the commercials are Wanda's parents. So if that theory were to be true, that would mean that the kids in episode 3's commercial for Hydra Soak, that would be Wanda and Petro. Sorry there, had to take a little break there. But I did want to talk about a couple other things that might be on people's radar, or maybe not. I don't know. But It did come out this week that HBO is um, has another George R. Martin property in development. So from Variety, a Variety exclusive. Game of Thrones prequel, Tales of Dunk and Egg in early development at HBO. A series adaptation of Tales of Dunk and Egg, a prequel to the events of Game of Thrones, is in early development at HBO. Variety has learned exclusively from sources. I hate that word sources. I hate when they say sources because who's your source? If it's not George R. Martin, that's your source, then I don't know. Because I have always heard that George R. Martin loves these novellas, The Tale of Dunk and Egg, and has said that he never wants them to be adapted for the screen. And he's not even finished with them. And from what I know, there's 3 books as of right now, and he's looking to have 5 books. And a major problem with Game of Thrones was that the books weren't finished before they started making the show Game of Thrones. And we all know how that ended. It didn't end well. So why start production or even development on a series of books that haven't even been finished when you know how the first thing ended? So that has me excited in one way, being that I do love the tale of Dunk and Egg. It's um, it's a really good story. Um, Egg is actually Aegon Targaryen, um, who I believe is the father of Aerys Targaryen, the Mad King, and brother of Aemon Targaryen. I believe. I might be completely wrong on that, but they're all related somehow, right? But also there was announcement about a Willy Wonka prequel. Yeah, so their Warner Brothers has set the Willy Wonka prequel titled Wonka to be released on March 17th, 2023. The studio announced on Tuesday. Looks like it'll be directed by Paul King, who also directed Paddington. And the movie will be about Wonka's adventures before opening the chocolate factory. If there was ever a movie that nobody asked for and they're giving it to us, this would be that. Nobody asked for this. Heck, I mean, if you look at um what was it? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Is that the one with Johnny Depp? Oh, that's Charlie and Willie. Oh, well, yeah, but anyways, to me that's just it's not needed. It's really not needed. Because in that Johnny Depp movie, um, I think produced by Tim Burton, they give a lot of his backstory. It's in that movie, so just stuff that it just doesn't make sense to me why that they would want to make this. So I'm just going to go through some movie news and just sit here and talk about some stuff. Oh, hey, Master. Okay, Willie is Gene and Charlie is Depp. Yeah, I couldn't remember that for the life of me. Yeah, what do you think about this new like Wonka prequel movie? Like to me it just seems like it's something nobody asked for. Nobody really wants that. Like I don't see the point of making that. Yeah, yeah. See, it's not interesting at all. Brian, I know you've probably been up for a while, but there is a link. I think if it's not there, I could repost it. I think I'm just gonna go through some movie news now and just talk to myself, talk to you, chatting there. Another thing. So
What's up, dude?
hey, what's up?
Oh, not much. Just got done watching Batman Forever with the Ambassador.
Oh yeah.
It's a classic movie.
I guess I just popped in on the stream when you guys were talking. I guess you were getting ready to go over.
Yeah,
and
we
watch
switched
it.
over to Twitch, and then it was messed up because how we originally had it kind of sucked. We had technical difficulties. So about like a third of the way in, I have it on Blu-ray. So I switched over headsets and then put an earbud in, and then was able to chat and stuff. But I was watching it on the TV. I ran the headphone through the Xbox controller so I can hear the sound and then mute the TV.
Now that speaking of getting things confused, like which was Charlie and the
I do it all the time.
Factory.
I had to look it up. I was like,
Batman Forever is the one where he meets Robin, right?
Yeah. Christopher O'Donnell comes in.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I think it's cheesy as all get out, like and campy as hell, but like.
And Forever is the Riddler and Two-Face.
Yeah, right, with Val Kilmer as Batman, which I don't know. I like him. They were talking about it. He does out of all the people who played Batman, I think he does the best of both. Like, he's a really good Bruce Wayne, and he's a pretty good Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like other guys are like, they're a good Bruce Wayne, but their Batman just kind of lacks.
Yeah,
or
like
they're
George
a good
Clooney
Batman.
was a good Bruce Wayne, but not a good Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was Bruce Wayne with the suit on. Like, it was like there was no like change, inflection in voice. I mean, even like Michael Keaton changed his voice when he was Batman. I'm Batman.
Yeah. So what? I know I was on your watching your stream earlier, and you talked a little bit about WandaVision, but what'd you think?
Oh, I loved it. I think it's just building up from where we left off last week, and I think the fact that like Monica Rambeau like mentioned Ultron, and I thought that was crazy, and the fact that she actually acknowledged Pietro's death.
Yeah.
And she hadn't done that. So it was like, oh man. And then you start to think like, who's the bad guy in this?
Yeah.
Because I know in like some of the House of M stuff, she basically is the bad guy that needs to be stopped.
Yep.
Because she's not in her right mind.
Yeah, that's what I love about this show. There's you said it earlier, these mystery boxes that you just don't know, and having it being weekly episodes, just intensifies that so much.
Oh yeah,
to a whole nother level where, like, here we are, crazy speculation about what's actually happening in this series.
Yeah, and that's something I desperately miss in fandom is like, what's going to happen next week?
Yeah.
I mean, we had it with The Mandalorian a little bit, but like for the most part, like Marvel speculation's where it's at, man. Like I just remember going back and doing, watching all the speculation videos before Endgame and all that kind of stuff. And it was like,
right.
Wow,
yeah.
So it's always fun, and it sucks because it's been over a year since we've really seen anything. Because what was it? Far From Home came out late 2019.
Yeah, it's
early 20.
Yeah, and I just think like this is even better than that because it's weekly.
Oh yeah.
And they're shorter. It's less than 30-minute episodes. And so it's very small breadcrumbs that we get to follow.
Yeah, I mean, I like it because it almost like condenses those breadcrumbs. Those episodes are filled with Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing in the scene that doesn't have some small amount of significance. And I find that just beyond epic because it makes you watch it again.
Yeah. 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 I did get to watch it twice before coming on here.
Mhm.
I
I
watched it once
cheated. I
early this
watched the whole.
morning.
Oh, there you go.
You stayed up and watched it?
I stayed up and watched it. Yeah, it's become
Yeah.
a weekly thing. I'll go on with Nicotina and we'll do a watch. He'll do a watch party. So it's always fun. But no, I cheated. I just watched all the Easter eggs. I let him do the work for me. But there were some really good ones in the last week, though. Like, especially with the sword emblem and the birth of the kids. And I did notice that one of the kids kind of had a little vision mark on his forehead, so that was kind of interesting.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, yeah. The one on the left in the crib, you could see it's just right down his forehead. It's not like Harry Potter scar, like Matt Jarbo was saying,
Yeah.
but it's like it's noticeable. You can see it.
That's cool. Yeah. And like, Tommy and Billy are the same names as her comic book kids.
Mm-hmm.
I
Wiccan
did a
and
little
Speed, I think.
Wiccan and Speed. Yeah. I had to do a little search too. To figure that out. But on that note, Wiccan and Speed end up being part of the Young Avengers.
It seems kind of like what they're doing, They're leaning into that,
especially with Hawkeye's daughter, which they already have cast that same girl, right? I'm right in saying that, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't remember what her name is, but yeah, that's what I've heard. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, especially with if they start throwing in some of the other characters. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. And so that last scene was really cool. So now, like, I'm of the opinion that Westview is like a real place.
Yeah, at least like a building or two, and everything else is kind of an illusion kind of thing. Because I think it's all within her mind bubble or whatever, and that's what she got pushed out of. It's kind of like the Truman Show, with the dome kind of thing.
Yeah, but you did see like the big the town sign for Westview whenever she got pushed out.
Actually, no, I didn't. There was a sign that said
when she gets pushed out, and they kind of zoom back from the big bubble, you can see the little the town sign down there, welcome to Westview.
Oh.
I know, right?
All right, I'm on a vision mission, man. I gotta watch that.
So now I'm kind of thinking that it's a real town. It might be a small town, but all these people are in it, and that they're definitely being manipulated by.
Yeah, they can't escape.
And the guy actually said that. The doctor said that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was really cool.
Well, it's like when the neighbor was trimming the hedges and kind of glitched out in the thing, and then was talking to the Agnes or whatever, and he's like, "Well, that's because we're." And then she looked at him and was like,
"Yeah," and see, like that. That's like where I'm like, what exactly is going on with some of the people? Like the doctor, I kind of get he can't escape. He's being manipulated. He's doing what he's supposed to do in his sitcom reality. But then there's like Agnes and now I guess Herb.
Yeah, Herb. So I'm like wondering, are they like NPCs in a sense, like where they're just kind of there, or do they have their own conscience?
Right. Hold on one second.
Mhm.
Sorry there. My son wanted some juice.
That's
I
all
don't
good.
know why he's still up.
Yeah, it's kind of late over there, isn't it? It's after midnight
Uh,
or close to.
yeah, we got a half hour till midnight. But yeah, he usually does that. He usually falls asleep and then wakes up thirsty.
Oh, I understand. That's why I slept with a glass of water on my bed, and I couldn't tell you how many times I've knocked that glass of water over.
Right. Yeah, but there, you know,
Well, I'm almost kind of wondering, like, could the people in the show be kind of like um, uh, actual people, but they're programmed to think like that. They're in the show. You know what I mean? Kind of like
yeah, that's what I'm starting to think is that, and like I think it's Wanda that's doing it.
I think it's because she doesn't want to accept the reality of what's happened. You know,
Oh
with,
yeah,
with
definitely. I
Vision
definitely
dying
think
and
like
then like
Vision dying and everything from Endgame was
mhm.
a catalyst to this. But like, you know, and and again, that's the great part of this show is like, what is it? Is it that Wanda created this bubble, or did someone trick her into creating this bubble, or did someone create the bubble and then now Wanda is manipulating it?
I think it's like a combination of somebody put her in it, and she's fighting to stay in it because she likes it. That's my theory.
Right.
Because somebody's pulling the strings, you know what I mean? And somebody is doing it to her, but it seems
Yeah.
like she's being protective of it because when Vision is like, I think something's wrong here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just like skips the tape and then goes back to where it's like, oh, well, you know, blah, 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 instead, you know?
Sorry, he got out of bed again.
Oh, it's all great.
Gosh, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, I was just basically talking about how, you know, when Vision kind of noticed that things were going wrong, and he still notices because it's like he's looking over at his neighbors and, you know, what the hell
Yeah.
is going on? And he just listened to the doctor saying something about escape, and it just kind of was like, wait a minute. You know, it's like, I wonder if he doesn't know he's dead kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the secret she's trying to keep from herself and him.
Yeah, that's like the one scene from the like the trailer that we haven't seen yet. I think I'm thinking that's like the one major scene, you know, where he's actually in the Vision costume,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he's trying to wake up the girl, and then she's like, "It's like, are we dead? Am I dead?" Because you are. I can't wait
Yeah.
till we
See,
get to that.
that's going to be really, really cool when you find it out. Because just think about it. I mean, if you knew that you were gone, and it just like that's what I like about the show. It's so meta in that sense, where it's just like it really does make you think.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think that's like one of the criticisms that the DC fans lob at the Marvel movies is that it's like, well, it just shows you everything. It's like, well, buckle up, boys.
well, that's another reason why I love this show is because it's so different from what we've seen from Marvel stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, it's like I never watched any of the TV shows that Marvel's put out. Like I still haven't seen Daredevil or like Jessica Jones or anything like that. I'm interested in seeing them once they're all in one central location where I can just sit there and binge like crazy. But the quality of those shows just wasn't there for me. Like I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm like,
Yeah, Agents of Shield wasn't. I'm not going to say that it was anything groundbreaking, but it was enjoyable.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, it kind of tied it in a little bit. I mean, I suppose so, but
I really like the actor that Agent Coulson.
oh yeah, he was awesome.
So he does a good job, you know. And you have oh God, what's her name from The Mandalorian?
Oh, Mean something.
Yeah, you know she's in it. You know, for
yeah, she's
the
one of
first
the main
2 seasons
people
at
on
least.
Yeah.
But Daredevil and Jessica Jones,
Luke Cage, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, all those shows are really good. I enjoyed them quite a bit.
Like the Netflix shows.
Yeah, actually, my favorite one of them was Jessica Jones. That's just a great character to me. You know, she's indestructible, and she has a drinking problem.
Nice. That's a little grounded in reality, you know.
Yeah, you know that's what those shows are really. You know, they're really grounded in reality, and I think one of the best castings like ever is oh my God, I am terrible with names late at night.
Kristen Ritter.
Yeah, she plays Jessica Jones. I'm thinking Kingpin though.
Oh, is that he just passed away, didn't he? Oh no,
gosh, I hope no.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio, there you go.
I was thinking the one that played it in the movie Daredevil.
Oh,
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, he did pass away. Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio is like on point as Kingpin.
He's always been on point, man.
Yeah,
even in Men in Black.
Yeah. No, he's a really good actor. You know, an older 90s movie that I loved that he was in was The Cell with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's a crazy trippy ass movie, man.
Oh, there's always Full Metal Jacket, you know.
Oh yeah. And
I liked him in Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he was on one of the Law and Orders. It was one of the short run ones.
My SO loves SVU, Special Victims Unit. That show, and I enjoy it kind of, but I'm not going to be watching it without her. Yeah. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same way. I binged it for a while there when it was on Netflix and stuff. I mean, years back, and I just kind of ran out of episodes to watch. Found another show. I started watching Dexter instead.
Oh, Dexter is really good.
So I was able to rifle through that one all the way. But the ending was a little disappointing. But I heard that they're supposed to be doing a sequel to that sometime soon. So.
Oh, you haven't seen the ending? I was going to actually ask you what you thought about the ending.
It was a little underwhelming.
Oh,
I mean, for me, it's like, that was so cool. I mean, but I don't know. It's one of those situations where, like, do you want him to get his comeuppance, or are you okay with it? You know what I mean? Without it, you know. So it's like
Right.
that's one of the favorite things I liked about Dexter the most. It's like, is he a hero or is he the villain? And a lot of the times he's the hero, but you know,
he's just a bad hero.
yeah. I guess it's the anti-hero.
Yeah.
The best way you can possibly tell it. I'm hoping that, I don't know, was it on Showtime or Stars or something like that?
I believe it's a Showtime show.
Yeah, they'll probably have their own streaming service too. I think they got a deal with Hulu or something like that. You can add the service on.
Yeah, there's something about Showtime and Hulu where they're connected in some way.
I have it for Stars. I was watching some Stars movies. It's been a pretty decent day. I mean, I had to pick up my roommate from work this morning, and it's right down the street from my new old job, and yeah, so I was just kind of sitting down there going, huh. I even drove by it. I was like, oh, all right. So.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is the right idea. I've done it multiple times after leaving a job. Just almost look at it like a vacation.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm gonna do. I've pretty much got enough to float, and if we do get that stimulus, oh, dude, I'm golden.
Right. Yeah.
I was even thinking about applying for unemployment.
Oh, they are actually something I saw today. I don't know if it was an executive order, if it's something that he's wanting to include in the next stimulus bill. That I don't know if this would actually apply to you, but like self-terminations for job safety will be unemployment will be available.
Well, yeah, because if you quit because you don't feel safe about the restrictions or whatever at work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or the safeguards that are in place. So I can understand that. For me, that's basically the reason I wrote down on the paper for the resignation was I couldn't handle the stress. So it's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I opened the door for that one. So I don't know. If I don't, then it's not a big deal. But if I do, it'd be great. It'll give me an opportunity to work on this, you know. Not saying I won't ever want to like do this for a living or anything, but just for some additional income would be nice.
Yeah. I just, actually I've been working on something. I've been working on, it's something I've never done before. It's something that I've always been interested. I've always been interested in editing and like movie making. You know, I'm not very talented with cameras or know how they operate, so I wouldn't necessarily be good at that. But I always thought editing would be really fun. So I have Filmora, which is, I think you have that also.
Yeah, that's what I have.
And it's a pretty solid editing program.
It's a little limiting, like with in terms of like what is available on the base model. Like you have to pay for the film stocks or whatever.
Yeah.
I've done it a couple of times. So like some of my earlier videos have a lot of the other elements you can add in, but like now I'm just like, I haven't paid for it in a month or two. So I'm just like, every time I go into Filmora, it's like, do you want to upgrade? I'm like, of course I do. And it goes through the whole spiel, and then it like kicks me back down to Filmora 9. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. But I don't have access to any of the other, like the asteroid impacts and stuff like that,
Right. Yeah.
Like the action movie little clips and stuff, which is really weird because it's like, well, I paid for it at least once and downloaded it, but if my subscription runs out, it's no good anymore.
Yeah,
Okay.
I ran across the same thing, and I almost deleted the whole thing, but I was like, wait a minute, I paid
Yeah,
I
60
paid
bucks
60
for,
bucks for the
yeah.
program, so I'm not throwing it away.
Hmm.
But yeah, like if and I kind of get it, you know, like because you're not actually buying them, you have the subscription and you're using them.
And it's
But
a hell of a lot cheaper than the other alternatives, you know.
yeah, I just thought it was kind of shady that you couldn't use the ones that you had downloaded already.
Because you already have them on your computer. I
Yeah,
mean, they're already there, so why not? But I don't know. I guess it's a lot cheaper than like Adobe,
yeah, yeah,
and it's a hell of a lot easier or more in terms of user friendliness. It's there, you know,
yeah.
because Adobe Premiere, it's like, yeah, okay, I don't have a bachelor's degree in graphic design.
Right. Neither do I. So, but yeah, I've been putting together this um trailer. It's like welcome to the Snyderverse. So like all of the Snyderverse movies
Mhm.
like in like one big trailer, I guess.
Yeah, like clip it up into like 3 minutes of goodness.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's going to be longer than that. I think the song it goes with is this and I'll never be able to make any money off of it, and the people might put ads on the video or something like that from what I researched because it had a copyright claim,
Hmm.
because I did check it to see what would happen if I did try to download it. And so it has this song. It's a cover of "In the End" by Linkin Park, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
really pretty.
Yeah.
Has the a girl singing Chad's part, you know,
Hmm.
and it's kind of meta in a way, you know, with everything that Zach went through, and you know,
Yeah.
and that
And
song. I thought about using a different song, you know, so like if I, you know,
I
ever
think it would
way in the
fit though, man.
future, you know.
Yeah. No, I think it would fit really well though. I tried using karaoke versions because what I'll
Oh
do
yeah,
is I'll go on YouTube and find the video, and then I use OBS to record it,
right.
and then I'll just go to Filmora and then clip it down and then export it to where I can put it in my branding or whatever on the StreamYards. So you can, that's how you get those little interlude videos or whatever, like little tiny clips, like
Oh okay.
Enosh and them use. Yeah, it's when you pay for the subscription.
Yeah, I've thought about paying for
My thing was
StreamYard,
is
but
I do, and my problem is I don't host any streams at all. Like just today was one of my first ones in quite a while. Well, I've been doing the Minecraft ones and stuff like that, but
yeah,
um,
yeah,
this last one was actually pretty good. I had a few people, quite a few people watching, so I was like,
yeah. You did. You had, I think you
all
had
right.
like 5 or 6, or was it?
Yeah, it peaked at like 8. I was looking at the analytics. I'm like, far out, man.
Oh, rock on.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that was cool. And then like, I'm hoping that because my first video was in February, and
Right.
that was back in the TGO days.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to like do like a year in review, but I'm also like 8 away from 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
So like I want to have like a little get together shindig thing. So I'll let you know when it comes closer because I want to do it sometime in early February. I mean that's if I'm not working already because I've already been applying with the Dickens, and I usually get callbacks really quick because I don't mind working fast food, man. There's a value to like getting free food.
Right. No. Yeah.
And I know Taco Bell like the back of my hand. Before I started at AutoZone, I was an assistant manager.
Plus, like if it's something that you've done, like I've worked a lot of my years doing retail. Um, recently, I was in retail management, but that shit is for the birds, man.
That's nuts, man. No, thank you.
Not only having to deal with crappy customers, but dealing with crappy
crappy employees too.
well, crappy employees. You're just surrounded by crap. You got crappy employees, crappy customers, crappy district managers. You're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I never would want to take a store manager position. Like before I went to commercial with AutoZone, I was doing dude, I was basically the store manager in all but title kind of thing. And I helped out so much about it. I mean, there was a lot of stuff I didn't do, but as far as dealing with the customers and dealing with the employees, I was point man on that.
Yeah, that's not fun if you're not getting paid for it.
Well, not only that, but it's especially with car stuff, because the knowledge of the people that work at those kind of places is so disparate. You've got people who know how to do damn near everything under the hood, and they're solid. I'm really good at check engine lights. That's my thing. Don't go buy an O2 sensor for a lean run condition. You're wasting your money. But and that's another thing I kind of want to do, is I want to do a car talk call-in type show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll answer your questions about cars and stuff like that. So it's something I originally intended when I did the show, because I wanted to be like a master of none, or the jack of all trades kind of thing, where it's
right.
I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, I want to talk about shit. We talked about sports today.
I was listening to that. That was fun. Because that's why I really like Dawson's channel. He has a really good channel.
So cool. That's why I got the new
hat. I think if there was anybody I bought anything from, it would probably be that hat. But I'm a fitted hat guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the best snapback I've ever had. I like how it's firm, and it's not and it fits down on the head.
It actually almost looks like a fitted hat from the front.
Mm-hmm. But no, I agree. My 49ers one, it just sucks because it's a Super Bowl version.
Oh.
And they lost, so I got pissed off and took a razor blade to try to scrape off the Super Bowl trophy. So if you're ever seeing me wear my 49er hat and I turn my head this way, you can see the white.
I've never noticed that.
I try to cover it up, and it's on this side. So it's I never really turn my head that much, but if I had it on hand, I'd show it to you. I was embarrassed. It was so funny because I went on Snow Dub's channel, and you know how he's a huge Seahawks fan,
right?
Yeah. And a huge Seahawks fan. And the worst part of it was he had Chiefs fans there too. So I'm telling him this embarrassing story of how I bought this hat for the Super Bowl and they lost, and I'm that's what the moral of the story: never buy anything like that until they've won.
Right. Yeah,
I did it with the Giants. That was when they won their second World Series. I got the fitted hat. Before that, it was just the phallus hats. The World Series trophy at a certain angle looks like a male appendage, and the ones on the back of the 2010 World Series hat were in that proper angle. And yeah, it was.
Oh.
And then. Yeah, and I have the hat from 2010, 2012, and 2014. So, yeah, I'm a huge Giants fan. I like going to baseball games in person. I'll do the 5-hour trek down to San Francisco to check out a game.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys talking about it a little bit, about baseball a little bit. I was doing stuff around the house while I was listening to you guys.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. I absolutely hate watching baseball on TV.
Unless it's the World Series or the playoffs, a game of consequence.
Yeah.
Then watching a regular Tuesday afternoon game. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Unless you're there.
And like going to a game, there's something different about that, you know.
The atmosphere, it's the food is good. Like,
Yeah, yep.
oh man, I remember going to a Giants game with my dad in 2002. It was right after they built that stadium where they play now, and we sat probably about 15 rows from a bratwurst cart that would grill up onions and sausage, and oh my god! And then the wind there it's really windy because it's off the bay, so like
Yeah.
and the wind would kick up and it would blow that smell. Oh, my goodness. And then I remember my first beer at a baseball game. Like, it was a rite of passage for me.
Oh
Like,
yeah, see that,
oh
that's
man,
cool.
yeah. So it's like I have a lot of firsts at baseball games, and I could pretty much tell you who won the ones that I have seen, and I've seen a lot. I think I'm probably about 500, like with wins and losses.
I had some relatives that lived in Cincinnati, so I got to see a lot of Cincinnati Reds games back in the day when they had Sabo and
oh yeah. No, I like what was it, Riverfront Stadium or whatever?
yeah, yep.
Oh man, I've always wanted to go to their new stadium. That's like one of my bucket list kind of items is to go see a game in every stadium.
That's a good bucket list.
I think that would be awesome. I've gotten 3, and one of them is special because you'll never get to see it again. I got to see the Montreal Expos in Montreal.
Oh yeah.
It was like 2 years before they moved to Washington. So I wanted to go when I was in Washington State. I wanted to go to a Mariners game. I've always liked their stadium. One looks cool. I've been to the Oakland A's. That poor stadium, man. And what the Raiders did to that place, it's a shame.
Right.
Well, like they did so much to try to get Al Davis to bring the Raiders back to Oakland, and like so they built this big old giant luxury suite seating thing that they never used. I mean, the luxury boxes, of course, but like there was seating on top that was like roped off for Raiders games because they could barely sell out like the bottom row of seating.
Right.
That's like part and parcel why their games got blacked out because they could never get enough people to go to the games and stuff like that. So it's like, and I don't blame them because that stadium is like old.
They got a new stadium now, right?
Yeah, it's down in Vegas, but the A's, no, they still play in that.
Oh, the A's still play in that?
The A's still play at the Dump. So I'm like, oh wow, man. And it's like I said, it's so bad because it ruins sight lines. Because back in the day, you used to be able to see the Oakland Hills in the background. Now it's just this Mount Davis is what they call it. It's this giant monstrosity in center field. It's like,
yeah, growing up, I was always a Atlanta Braves fan.
Yeah. Well, especially like back in the day, like when we were kids. I mean,
they had the pitching lineup: John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then they had killer closers. I mean, and then Smoltz moved to closing after a while. I mean, god dang, that was a hell of a team. Like one of my aunts.
They only got one World Series out of that.
I know, out of all the trips, and the funny thing was it was against the Cleveland Indians.
Oh gosh, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And the poor Indians, man, they haven't won one since the 40s. I think they're the team that's been the longest now. I want to say, like, everyone else has won.
Yeah.
I think the Indians are the longest. It was the Cubs for the longest time. Like 1908, I think, was the last time they won a World Series. Yeah,
they've been disappointing also. My whole family is we're kind of around Chicago. So my whole family is Cubs fans, Cubs and Bears fans. So
Cubs and the Bears.
when they won the World Series, it was awesome, but they just fell apart.
That happens. Unfortunately, it's like you'll get and the thing is they were good leading up to that for years.
Yeah.
So to see them fall off like that, that is a shame. Well, I mean, this is like the Giants, man. After 14, it was like, let's keep people on that can't hit.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, why? Well, he was on the World Series team. It's like, so? It was like Pablo Sandoval was a perfect example. Like, I was done with him after his last season. Like, he was good in the playoffs and the World Series, don't get me wrong, but like during the season, I think he hit under 200. Like, you don't get to keep your job hitting that bad.
Yeah. But man, I played baseball when I was younger, it's a weird story. I was a very small kid, but I was really good at baseball, how you were talking about, Barry Bonds is, the swing he had that he had a sweet ass swing,
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times. And then batting practice was amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say I had anything like Barry Bonds, but I was a little dude that could crank the ball.
Nice.
And I got into high school, and the coach was like, batting practice and everything, he looked at me, he was like, "What position do you play?" Like, third base. It's like, really? Like, you're pretty small for third base. I was like, okay. And, we do, fielding practice, and he hits it to me, and I just gun it over the first base. And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Welcome to third base, son.
Little dude can play third base then. But then, even batting practice, fastballs, no problem. I wear glasses now. I didn't at the point in time. If they would have been like, "Hey, like, you can't hit a curveball, so like, and we've told you how to, but you can't see it, so maybe you should get your eyes checked."
Yeah.
And maybe that might be the reason. But I couldn't hit a curveball. I could drill the crap out of a fastball.
You're like Pedro Serrano in Major League.
Yeah. No, it was literally that. It was like a combination of him and Charlie Sheen's character,
Yeah.
But yeah, the coach said, didn't even get me on like the junior varsity, because he was like, "You need to go to the weight room, get about 60 pounds on you, and then come back."
Yeah.
And I'm like 100 pounds as a freshman. Like, how am I supposed to do that?
Yeah. Where am I going to put it?
So I just did marching band in high school.
There you go. I did football for 2 years, and that was about it.
You know what's crazy? Like, people, because I like football a lot. I watch football, every Sunday. I'm like, kids are like, "I want to watch something." And I'm like, "No, we're watching football because I like football."
Yep.
They're like, "But why? Like, you didn't play football." Like, I watched football every Friday because I was in marching band. I sat in the stands and watched it every Friday because I had to.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I loved the marching band, except for their halftime show. So my sophomore year is when I started playing football on JV. Okay, the big song that year, this was 1997. The big song that year was "My Heart Will Go On" from Celine Dion. And that's what they did for the halftime show.
Oh no.
And then the next year, swing was the thing, and it was Zoot Suit Riot, and they'd practice right next to our practice field, so it was like every day. It's like, couldn't you be more like my 8th grade class and learn how to play the Star Trek Generations Overture?
Right. Yeah, see, we played cool stuff. We never played any like popular music.
Yeah. Nah, those were trying times, man. It gave a whole new meaning to the term Hell Week. Well, that, and it was hot as the dickens, man. It was 117, and I don't know if you've ever experienced Sacramento heat, but it's like a weird mix of humidity and just, the air is kind of stale.
Well, we call where I come from the ass crack of America. It is nothing but straight up humid here. I'm sure it doesn't get as hot as Sacramento, but the humidity, like you're talking like 98% humidity, like every fucking day. It's just
it's not that bad. I mean, it's got a couple rivers that run through it and stuff like that, so it's like, you get that from the river, and occasionally at night you get that delta breeze that comes in and it cools things off. But like, there are some nights where it's just like, oh my god. But I would consider Sacramento the armpit of America.
Right. I hate humidity. I don't know why I've stayed here for so long. I hate it. But
well, air conditioning is really good.
Yeah. We have a very good AC unit that keeps us nice and cool. Yeah. But it's actually funny talking about the marching band thing. I was actually thinking about. I've been weighing it, but some of my high school marching band shows are on YouTube. I was thinking about like watching one and reacting to it.
Oh, there you go. That'd be awesome. See, I wish I don't have any videos from my high school. None.
Maybe you will.
I hardly have pictures either. Like, this is before like cell phone cameras were a thing.
Yeah.
I used to just get those ones from the pharmacies with the wheel on the back, the disposables.
Yeah, kids don't know how lucky they have it now, They just have all of their pictures, at a fingertip,
I mean, a lot of people have their whole life on Facebook, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, every single picture they've ever taken in their life. It's like, God dang, man. I didn't even have a cell phone with a camera until 2005. Really?
Yeah, I don't think I did either. I don't think I actually had a smartphone until me and my girlfriend started dating, and she gave me her like iPhone 3 or something.
It was the day before my 30th birthday is when I got one. July 20th, 2013. I got it was a Samsung S3. That was my first smartphone. My nephew is in here.
Oh yeah, I was getting ready to say I've been live for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
My son won't go back to sleep either, so I'll have to go.
Yeah.
Try to figure that out.
Looks like I'll be talking more WandaVision. I'm gonna go on Nicotina's at midnight.
Oh yeah, I'll try to stop in there. I'm gonna have to ask Ambassador what his Twitch handle is. Do you know offhand?
Yeah, just give me a second. I'll get it real quick. It is. I think it's the Ambassador Kosh.
Like the ambassador?
Uh,
Because I could have swore I put in Ambassador Kosh because I know that's his Twitter handle.
yeah. What the heck? Darn it. Anyways. I'll get it.
While you're doing that real quick, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. If you're listening on replay, go subscribe to Brian, the Master of None. He is almost at 100 viewers. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I am well under that. Give the video a like or whatever. Check out some of the other stuff that I'm doing. And I'll see you next Friday when we review episode 4 of WandaVision. Peace out.